Hello and welcome into the Sporting Pod. Along with Tony Allegretti and Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. Coming up, we look back on a major day of success for the club and a look ahead to the start of the USL Championship season. Plus, how the women's team is enjoying individual success as the team is flourishing. We are fed by the Bearded Pig, locally owned and operated, with the original location in San Marco. Make sure you swing by the Bearded Pig for great barbecue and great time. So, as you might notice here, sound quality will be a little bit different. We are not at the Gemstone Media Studios today. And so apologies if we are not quite as crisp and amazing sounding as we usually are at Gemstone. We're doing this virtually. Emerson's a little bit under the weather. Tony and I, Tony's also fighting a little something, I think. Right, Tony?
That's right. Yes.
So, and I'm feeling great, but have a busy morning as we ramp up toward the USL Championship season opener on Saturday, March the 7th. So let's start with Saturday's preseason friendly against Charleston Battery. It was a 2-1 win. There was an own goal in the opening minute, and then Kieran Sadlier scoring off a feed from Zeke Soto in the second half. Thoughts on this one and sort of seeing for the first time what this team is going to sort of look like. I say sort of because there's still some players who haven't found their way, into the country with waiting on visas and so forth. But Tony, your thoughts on the friendly?
Yeah, well, for a first match, really, kind of what you would expect. There were some good parts. We're not gelled yet, which you wouldn't expect us to be. There were some really shining moments. Charleston's no joke. They're always in the playoffs. They're always playing at a really high level. They're going to be competitive. So to eke out a victory, with them contributing in the first goal is really, I think, a great result. And that's really half the battle. I feel like there's going to be a lot of fun and a lot more to see with this team. And then, of course, the winning goal was a wonder goal. I mean, it was so well struck, side of the foot, and really a kind of an under-noticed assist on that to open up that shot. But there's no goalie in the USL saving that. So really, really positive. I can't wait till the 7th to watch them again.
Yeah, I thought that the highlight was definitely the finish there. A little bit of a weird moment leading up to that goal. The linesman had picked up his flag and then put it back down, and I think everybody kind of hesitated for a moment. So, there were a little bit of unusual on both goals. There was a little something extra there. Both Tony, you and Emerson both watched from remote locations for different reasons. Emerson, what'd you make of it?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, when we talked on the pod last week, I said, hopefully we'll get a win against Charleston. And Cole, you said, the win doesn't really matter. It's really just seeing the group come together as a whole and meld together. And so I think getting the win is obviously great. And Tony, like you said, we haven't gelled quite yet. But as these next couple days go on and then we approach March 7th for the season opener, hopefully they will continue to gel more. I mean, it took some time for the women, and now they're doing amazing things in the Gamebridge Super League. So much more to come for the men's side, but I was happy with it.
I think, Emerson, you hit on an important point there. I think that as well as what we saw with the women, I think seeing how the men come together and improve over time, I suspect this will be a better team in June than they're going to be in March. So if we can find some results early in the season, I think that will be great for the long term. But I think this team is going to improve over time. Again, as we mentioned with the women, this is a group, even though there are some guys who have played a bit together from time to time. You got some of the guys from St. Louis and some of the guys from NCFC, North Carolina. You don't have a lot of guys who have played a lot of soccer together. So combining, getting that sense of how each other plays, that's a process. And with a new club and with guys, I mean, I'll point out a couple of names, Jordan Rossiter, Rafferty Petter, and Edgardo Rito, all three guys who could either start or play a lot for this team are not in camp yet. So you've got three players who might play, pivotal roles who aren't there. So they're still kind of coming along. And I thought it was impressive to see Nyjah Reed, who had just gotten into camp like a couple of days earlier, who got out there and played, 20 minutes or so, and was impactful running down the left side as the left side forward. And I also thought that Christian Oliveras did a great job in goal in terms of his goalkeeping. I'd like to see a little more building out of the back, but overall, I thought that it was a good start to things. Now we look ahead to March 7th in Hartford Athletic, and I've started to do some of my prep work on Hartford. And while this is a team that was not necessarily a top contender last year, they did make the playoffs, and they have added some firepower, including Augie Williams, who is, I believe, now the active leader in regular season USL Championship goals. He scored 85 goals in his USL Championship career, and he joins a team that has lost. They lost some firepower from last year. Kyle Edwards scored 12 goals. He's gone. Mamadou Dieng scored 9 goals and then left in midseason, transferred to Minnesota United. So 3 of the 4 players who scored more than 2 goals on the team are gone from last year. But when you add a player like Augie Williams, still just 28 years old, who has scored double-digit goals on several occasions in the USL Championship, that's, he's a dangerous player to have to contend with. And so I think we're going to see how that all plays out when the two sides get together on March the 7th. But I can't wait for the spectacle of it, Tony. And I'm looking forward to a big crowd. I want to hear and feel the energy. So, looking forward to what the what the feeling is going to be like there at Hodges Stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be electric. There's I can just tell from the buzz around the office, the number of time that the season ticket bell rings, et cetera. We're gearing up for a big crowd. Like you have said previously, it's going to be the best game we've ever played.
No doubt.
Yeah,
for sure. All right. Anything else, Emerson, on looking forward here to this first one? Because you'll be down on the sidelines and having a chance to get a close look at what's going on in this game. And as we have noted in the training sessions, the pace and grit that this team is working with, and that Liam Fox and Mark Warbert and everybody else associated with the team wants this team to play with, I think is going to be something for fans to enjoy.
Yeah, I think that was the one thing I was going to touch on. Is just this game is so different compared to the women's side. It's faster, it's more aggressive, but I think the front office is excited. We got a very exciting email from JJ this morning, and I think that's really getting the team hyped up as far as the front office goes. But also, I think the team is really excited. The chemistry at practice that we've seen and the excitement that we've seen is all there, and so I think it's just counting down the days until March 7th.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and we'll have an announcement in terms of broadcasting within the market coming shortly. It will be streamed on ESPN Plus. So if you're an ESPN Plus subscriber, you'll be able to get that very easily if you're outside of the market. But inside the market, we will have an announcement on what's going on as far as the broadcast coming up here in the next several days. A lot of announcements coming. It's going to be a busy week of announcements next week for sure. We do want to remind you that season tickets are on sale now for the Sporting JAX USL Championship season. Be a part of the return to pro soccer on the men's side. Call 904-863-KICK or visit sportingjax.com to get your season tickets today, and it all starts March the 7th against Hartford Athletic. Okay, on the women's side, tremendous performance by the women, and we sort of tease it as the biggest on-field day for the club in club history, and boy, did the women deliver. 3-0 victory at Lexington SC, and 4 points clear in the table now, and they'll have a couple of weeks off from a Gainbridge Super League play. Tony, what a time to be a Sporting JAX supporter. This team is just flying right now.
They are so fun to watch, and what a complete game. I mean, Stacy has them like completely clicking. They had their heads on swivels. They made Lexington, who I said before has been the only team to kind of contain us, really, to get us out of our head a little bit. And they took that serious. They took that assignment seriously, and to go in and really just thrash an undefeated team, they got to be feeling really good about that.
Well, and that's a part of it. Lexington had not lost all year. They'd found ways to salvage a point with a draw from potential losses, and they had no chance to salvage anything. I mean, there were opportunities. Lexington had a few chances, hit the woodwork a couple of times, as did Sporting JAX, by the way. Mm-hmm. But this is, if you want to see a team playing, at full speed with everybody understanding their roles, Emerson, this is a fun team to watch right now.
Absolutely. And everyone is just doing their roles so well. And if they're not doing their role, they're filling in when they need to fill in for somebody else. Everyone has each other's backs on this team. I mean, shout out to Casey Smeckrud, who had a rocket of a goal, her first goal for Sporting JAX. It's just so exciting. I mean, I was a little nervous going into the Lexington game, but Stacey Balaam and all the girls said, this is our revenge game. And so they had that little edge to them, and they came in ready to go. And I'm so glad we got the 3-0 win.
Yeah, and I think what this shows, if there was any question before, is that in a game of importance that they all accepted was an important game, that they could play their game and not get outside of themselves. And I think that bodes well for the postseason. They still need to get there, but I think it bodes very well for the postseason and seeing what's going to happen. One of the things that has led to this team's success has, of course, been individuals, as you mentioned, doing their job, doing what they do best. Ashlyn Puerta has 11 goals to lead the league. She has 16 goal contributions, 11 goals and 5 assists. The free kick goal was given to Bailey DeSmit on the deflection, and so that gave Puerta, she was going to be a goal contribution one way or another, but it now ties the league record for goal contributions in a season. And we still have plenty of soccer to be played. Let me see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games remaining in the season. We've also got Meg Hughes and Paige Kenton tied for first in assists with 6. Puerta right behind them with 5. Caitlin Parks leads the league with 7 clean sheets. 4 of the top 10 passers in the league are on this team: Georgia Brown, Julia Lester, Sophia Bowman, and Grace Philpotts. And Sporting JAX leads the league in goals and in passes. If you're going to pick out some stats for individual accomplishments that would lead to team accomplishments, that's kind of it right there, isn't it, Tony?
It really is. I mean, you could throw in clean sheets and all the other ones that we're doing very well in as well. But yeah, we're flying a lot. You gotta hand it to Stacey and Mark Warburton. Who we should have given him some credit on the W against Charleston. He had the magic hat out. We're a force, and I think the USL Championship is about to find out as well.
I really look forward to it. I will say that the competition just from numbers in the Gamebridge Super League is, you only have 8 other teams to contend with. You got 24 other teams to contend with in the USL Championship, more established teams as well. So I don't want to say, oh, well, the women are doing it, so the men are obviously going to be top of the table. I don't know that that's going to be the case. But when you see what Mark Warburton has put together, his approach, his knowledge, he deserves an awful lot of credit here, Emerson, to see what he has compiled on both sides.
Yeah, and we talked about it as Liam has been gone, and seeing Mark on the field, it's just so exciting to see him in his element. And I think he's been hard on the guys, which is needed because we want to see great success from the men's side. So seeing Mark really step in and see what he can do in this club is just so exciting.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to pile on real quick, Cole, on that too. Is we are so fortunate to have Mark around, and these are 2 kind of classic examples on the pro side. But I get emails all the time or texts from parents or coaches on the academy side where Mark is out there at Veterans, at Earl Johnson, at our fields, training coaches and talking to families. And really just so blessed to have somebody of his caliber to be on our side and to really push that player development agenda is amazing, and I think we're just really fortunate to have him.
Oh, no doubt. And, again, we knew that when he was hired, that he was going to bring a wealth of experience and knowledge and just the full package. And he has, and it's paying dividends on the women's side. And I will look forward to seeing it pay dividends on the men's side as well. It's one of the most important hires for a club, is the guy who's going to decide the coaches, the players,
next to broadcast,
right? Yes,
and foundation.
Yeah, I think it's probably right after that.
Yeah. Top three.
It's right there. It's important. All right, we do want to remind you that you can get more on Sporting JAX every weekend with the Sporting JAX report. This week will be noon on Saturday on NBC 12, and every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010XL. It's the Coaches Show. We hear from the likes of Mark Warburton and/or Liam Fox, Stacey Balaam, and players as well. Emerson joins me with a report from around the league. So tune in every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010XL, or listen on demand at 1010XL.com. Let's get into our Premier League contest. Do we have to?
We have to.
Emerson says we have to. Last week, Tony and I took the L, while Emerson won her 4th straight pick.
Woohoo!
So Tony and I still tied at 43 points. Emerson up to 36 and closing fast with her pick of Palace over Wolves. Tony had Spurs over Arsenal, and Arsenal got the win there. Tony, it was a bold pick. As you said, we all took a bit of a chance. I had Brentford over Brighton, and Brighton took it to them away. That was an impressive 2-0 win for Brighton. So here we are to our next week's picks as we get down to it. Tony, we're making picks for games that will take place, some of them, in the month of March. Perhaps we've got Sunday games. So what do you have?
Well, I'm actually going to pick one that's today, and I'm going to pick at the time of the taping. Anyway, I'm going to pick Villa over Wolves at Wolves.
Okay. A reminder, you can only pick a team twice. Yeah. So this will be Tony's second pick of Villa.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just get that into our highly sophisticated spreadsheet here. And we'll let that go. So now, Emerson, your pick.
I'm taking Liverpool over West Ham.
You had me as well. That's exactly where I'm going. I have not picked Liverpool twice. Neither have you.
I have.
This will be your second pick.
Will be my second pick. Yes.
Yeah, but you still have the opportunity to do that. So, all right, we both have Liverpool over West Ham. Sorry, Stacey Balaam, but
you might be the one that's sorry.
I might be. Well, but yeah, true. And West Ham has played a little better lately.
They've picked it up.
Yeah. So, all right, we will let you know as well. I kind of teased it. Big announcement coming on Monday that we'll talk about next week on the pod. Boy, I don't know if we're going to have time to get everything in on the pod that we could cover. It's going to be a busy next week on the pod. We've also got our business luncheon for sponsors and special guests coming up next week. And of course, the first match, March the 7th, as Sporting JAX takes on Hartford Athletic. To get your tickets, go to sportingjax.com or call 904-863-KICK. Let's pack the park at Hodges Stadium for the big opener. All right, now we've come to the point of the podcast where Tony breaks format.
Right, except this is now format. Like, I feel weird. Like, I'm going to have to start interrupting at the beginning of the show.
So now you figured out my ploy here.
Yes, I do. You're such a pro at this, but it did occur to me. Okay, so I want to shout out the First Coast Ultras. If you've ever been to a Sporting JAX game, you know that on your way in, our supporter section has a wonderful tailgate. They cook out. The food and the drinks are all free. So as people come in, it's just such a great way to make new soccer friends. And they're so welcoming. Everyone's invited. And so I just want to shout those guys and girls out because they're amazing people and they do so much for the energy, and during the game, and like I was out of town for the 2 matches, and to hear the First Coast Ultras on the broadcast is just brings such joy. Anyway, I just want to shout them out. It'll be by far the biggest tailgate we've ever done on March 7th. So make sure to park in lot 18, and you can't miss us. Look for us on the walk-in.
All right, good stuff. Tony, thank you. Emerson, thank you. What is my advice for those who are fighting a little, under the weather?
Whiskey.
Rest and hydration.
Rest and hydration.
Yeah.
And maybe whiskey if that doesn't work. All right. For Tony Allegretti, for Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks so much for listening to the Sporting Pod.
Cheers, y'all. Thanks.